So, Mr. Mossoff, you said 50% of all the new drugs are made in America, is that right, or developed here?
Yes, it's actually more than 50%.
You agree with that, Ms. Ulrich? Okay. Why is that?
So, in very much, it's a great question.
Are we smarter, or what's the deal?
And very much, I believe it has to do with the patent system. In the sense that the United States innovatively took the position, starting from the very beginning of the country, that they would secure next generation technologies and they would protect them as property rights.
So patents are a good thing?
Patents are a driver of economic growth, of new innovation, yes.
Okay, I agree with that. Now, is patent abuse a problem when it comes to drugs?
So there's a lot of rhetoric about whether their abuse exists.
I'm not talking about the words, the actions.
Yes. So it's very difficult to sometimes find actual evidence. So for instance, you see evidence of abuse. Are there some cases? Yes, because in every legal system in every area of life, there's going to be some bad actor.
So, Dr. Feldman, do you believe there's gaming of the patent system by pharmaceutical companies?
I think there's no question.
See, I'm with you on this one.
you look at, I don't think it's sort of finding a needle in a haystack. Everywhere we look, every study we do, we find gaming. We look at drug device combinations. I talked about inhalers. We see the same thing on GLP-1 receptor agonists like Ozempic.
Yeah, so I'm with you on that. So I want to keep the patent system in place because it's good. I just think the problem is real in terms of patent abuse, the games that people play. Senator Grassley's, pay to delay, that kind of stuff. So count me in on trying to fix that without killing the egg laid by the goose. Ms. Ulrich, you talked about PBMs. What percentage of cost do you think could be attributed to them?
I'm sorry, I don't have a number, but I can tell you that, with 80% being controlled by 3 in the vertically integrated entities, that there's extreme market pressure being controlled by those 3 entities.
Okay, so that'd be a good place for us to look to create some competition, right?
I agree.
Do you agree that there's patent abuse in your industry?
Pharma is not in support of anti-competitive behaviors.
Well, that's not the question. Do you agree there's patent abuse in your industry?
Well, I believe that there are controls in place to handle that when there is.
So you don't think there's a problem?
I think that the courts and FTC has the
So
authority
wait a minute.
to deal with that.
You don't think there's a problem with pharmaceutical companies playing games with patents to keep generics out of the market?
I think that the system has the correct checks and balances in place.
So you think it's working?
I think it's working.
Yeah, well, I don't. Mr. Mitchell, you're on the receiving end of all this. One, I hope the next drug comes along quickly because there are a lot of people like you in different areas of our society depending on Ms. Ulrich. I mean, I'm trying to say new drugs are good, gaming the system bad, PBMs need to be better controlled. Is that a good summary?
I'd say so.
Okay, now let's go to foreign countries. If a drug is a lot cheaper in a foreign country because of government action in that country to subsidize the drug, would you consider that an unfair trade practice, Professor Mossoff?
Potentially, yes. I mean, there's one of the problems with the cost of high drugs in this country is that this is the last country in the world, as far as I'm aware, that drug manufacturers and drug innovators can sell the price in the marketplace at a price that they would seek to sell it at. All other systems have single-payer systems.
Professor, do you consider that a potential unfair trade practice?
Thank you for the question. It could be, yes. I mean, I do think that it is the case. I'm not an international trade expert, but it is the case that.
So here's what I'd like to do as a committee here. Focus on the fact that some countries actually do lower the prices through government action that we prohibit here. For all the reasons you said, that makes our consumers have to absorb more of the R&D. That, to me, needs to be part of the conversation. To me, that is an unfair trade practice. Does that make sense to you, Mr. Mitchell?
Respectfully, Senator, I disagree. I don't think their prices are too low. I think our prices are too high. And the reason their prices are low is, one reason is that we're the only nation in the world that permits drug companies to dictate prices to its citizens. The only nation on the planet. Every other country negotiates. We only began to negotiate this year, and we will negotiate over a total of 60 drugs out of about 4,000. But we should do more negotiating.
Yeah, I understand to a point. The question is what role of the government here? And I'll let you go. I wish you well. What role should the government play in all this is a very important decision to make. And when a country is having governmental policies that make our consumers pay more for the R&D we all need, I'm going to go after those countries. Thank you.
Senator Wade.